Hello, everyone. My name is Sharan Boyd, and I'm a principal candidate for SIUE. A little background about myself. I graduated from Belleville West High School in 2015. I was a multiple sport athlete. I had the pleasure of going on to the University of Northern Colorado in Greeley, Colorado, to pursue a degree in special education and through a football scholarship. So originally when I went to college, I wanted to be an English major, but then I realized I was like, hold on, I really don't care for reading that much. And not saying that I don't read now, but I was like, it was kind of hard English wasn't even a favorite subject of mine when I was in high school. And so I started to think about what was I good at, what were my strengths. And I realized I was good at talking to people. I'm a very outgoing person. I ended up meeting another student athlete who I had a class with, and she told me she was a special education major. And I was like, what made you go into special education? And she just talked about the relationships that she built, and we kind of figured out that we had some of the same qualities. And I started thinking back into some high school teachers that inspired me, and some of them were special education teachers. And I was like, I think special education is the route for me. I want to teach and coach, and I think it's the route that I should go. I ended up playing football at the University of Northern Colorado for 4 years. I did have to retire my senior year due to a knee injury. It was my third knee surgery, and I was just done with it. And actually, as soon as I found out the information about my knee, I called my superintendent. We started talking, and he presented me with the opportunity to coach football and be a teacher here at Belleville West High School. So I started doing that, and currently, I am a resource behavior teacher, so I work well with the behavior department here in the self-contained program. And after the kids transition out of the self-contained program, they come into my classroom, which I teach civics. Also, this past year, I was the head freshman football coach, and then this coming year, I will be the varsity defensive coordinator for the Belleville West Maroons. So, with that being said, a strength of mine is that I'm a natural leader. It's always kind of been ingrained in me. I remember when I was younger, before my old pastor, he passed away. He told my grandma when I was 3 years old, walking through the church with suits on and reading different poems and scriptures and things like that. I'm like, he's gonna be a leader one day, and I think I'm really living up to what he thought, and I'm trying my best. But the best part about being a leader is that I'm constantly learning. I never reach the part where I feel like I know it all. I like to learn from people that I'm working with. I like to learn with people that are under me. I try to keep us all on the same level of playing, just so we can learn from each other. That's what makes me a great leader. And on top of that, I think I'm great with building relationships. The reason I was able to receive this job was because of the relationship I was able to build with my superintendent while I was in high school. I've constantly been motivated. I think my motivation is seeing that, honestly, that there's 2% of teachers in America are black males. I think this is my motivation to get more people of color into education. I'm more than just a teacher to my students. I try to be, sometimes a teacher students, they need that father figure. They need that big brother. But sometimes, for the most part, they need a friend. They need to know that somebody cares for them. And that's my job as a teacher. So sometimes if I have to put a lesson to the side because my kids don't feel right, or if we need to get a restorative circle going on, just because things are thrown off, then we'll do that, because these kids can't learn if they're dealing with other things. I think another strength of mine is recognizing that everyone has the opportunity to learn. It all doesn't look the same. We all learn differently, but all of these kids should have the opportunity to learn. And it's our jobs as teachers to find their weaknesses and their strengths and to adapt our teaching methods according to our students. If you go into your classroom and it's not the same thing, if it is the same thing every year, then it's kind of hard for you to say that you're adapting to your students. I would say weaknesses for me, especially when I become a principal one day, is understanding the laws. I think laws change by district. I think there's a lot of things that our district does that another district does not do. So being able to adapt to that, but to know those core laws and like, okay, I cannot do this or I can do this. I think that's a weakness for me, understanding those. I think protocols, what to do when this happens. Who creates those protocols? Do we create our own policies for discipline, specifically in schools? Kids, there has to be discipline set in place. I think that's another weakness of mine, is trying to discover just on what not to do. And Also contributing to that, I would say what paperwork needs to be done. I go down to the office and I see a lot of paperwork down there that needs to be done. How do I fill out these papers? But a biggest thing to end this, I say with me being a natural leader and learner, I think that I will be able to understand those things and to adapt them and to hopefully change the culture of any school that I have the pleasure of being at. So I want to thank you guys for giving me this opportunity, and I hope that you guys will set me into the program. Thank you so much.